to another state. These guys constructed a new company with all the same contacts, and I actually helped train them a long time ago.
Okay, so you have a lot of experience in that industry.
Absolutely.
Oh,
yes,
okay.
I've been actually structural concrete. I was actually the foreman we retrofitted the LA Times building down at Spring and 2nd in Los Angeles.
Were you involved in the retrofitting back in the day? It seems like just yesterday, but back in the day with all the earthquake things with the freeways and stuff?
Not the freeways, but back then I was up in Reseda.
Okay.
There was a big Reseda out, the Northridge quake.
Yes, yeah. I think that's what I was thinking about when that thing broke off and people were driving off the freeway.
No, I wasn't on the freeways. At that time, I'm actually a brick mason by trade.
Ah, okay.
So I was actually up there doing fireplaces at that time.
Yeah. Do not build your fireplace with brick. Moral of the story.
Just put rebar in them. You know what I mean? Just minimal.
Yeah. You had to fit them up. Hey, well, Wayne, listen. I in my thought process on everything, especially after our conversation, because I told you that I know that you want to end this as quickly as you possibly can.
Well, I just want truth in my du jour for everybody. That's all. You know what I mean?
Okay. Well, I felt, in praying about this, because I try to put everything to prayer and stuff like that, because I'm a man of peace, as you are, and I hate for anybody to have to be going through any of this crap, if you will, and because we are trying to find the truth, and we're trying to find peace, and we're trying to do all. That's why we're here, right? I mean, that's the bottom line. And I said, you know what? Wayne claims he's a man of honor, a man of truth, a man of peace. I believe that with everything that's in me. And I thought to myself, and I felt that was the Lord in saying, you know what? Why don't you just ask him? And that's what I'm calling about. I'm saying, look, we can end this thing basically now, or we can continue it as long as it possibly takes. So can I ask the question?
You can ask me anything you want.
My question is, Wayne, I think you will know that in walking in honor and peace, if I ask you, did you misappropriate any funds that belong to the people in any way that was not supposed to be done?
I did not.
You did not. Okay. Then I'll have to continue with the process and find out what we come up with. Like I said before, it may come out or end up to be a hill of beans, so to speak, or a nothing burger. But we're going to have to do that. And we're getting very close to it. We're going to get together and we're going to put all the evidence that we have together, try to fit it in the slots, if you will. You know what I'm saying? Try to fit it in the slots, and then try to come up with what the next step is. It might be a phone call and say, hey, listen, we found absolutely nothing. You're free to go, so to speak. Because I guess you might feel like you're in bondage right now, so to speak.
Well, okay, so here, may I share the perception of events? Is that fair, of myself and what I believe the assembly partook in for the last 9 months?
Sure.
Okay. It's got to, you work forward or backwards?
Yeah.
If I work backwards from events on a timeline, okay, and during this whole time, after a date of April 10th, that Paul Pappas said he had to file a report with the peacekeeping task force that I'm a thief from April 10th forward. Let's start there, because that's when I was told by Paul Pappas that he had to file a report that I was a thief. How's that? Is that a fair place to start?
Yeah, like I said, I got papered up a day afterwards.
Yeah, right. And so there are people who were, present and aware of all my duties and what happened, and just appropriation of funds in the assembly with PayPal. So Paul accused me. He said he had to file a report. The day back, I was driving back from working in Arizona with him for a month, off and on. And I said, Paul, you're perfectly entitled to your opinion. Give me some facts. And so apparently on that same day, I walked into his house. Vicky Indiglu is his significant other.
Yeah.
And it was determined she was elected, I guess, or appointed to handle the treasury funds of the PayPal account, which I've been trying to get rid of for months. No one wants to step up and do anything. You know what I mean? So I was handling everything. So she asked me, Wayne, there are 3 entries to the PayPal account which we can't account for to balance the books. 3 of them. I said, okay, what are they? And she already had access to the PayPal, had the password, looking at everything, and I provided receipts 2 days later for credit card transactions.
What does that mean? What do you mean credit card transactions?
Okay, since we don't have a bank account, the only way, if we were to pay money out, I had to attach my personal credit card from my personal account to the PayPal, a debit card.
Gotcha.
So there are records of those deposits and debits to the PayPal.
Mm-hmm.
So I gave her the receipts. There was $200 in cash during the time we did a mailing. I was up in Northern California. The other one was for a half of a computer. That was my personal computer, and the total bill was around $900. And the assembly, we made a decision on our call that yes, the assembly would pay for half, but it's still my computer, so I could function as the coordinator.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Now, can I interrupt just because of my ignorance?
Yes.
Do you feel, and did you get permission or whatever it was? Did the assembly know that you were having to use, because you didn't have a bank account, I don't know why there was not a bank account, but that in order for you to transact, the money had to go from the PayPal to your debit card or your credit card or whatever you want to call it?
Yeah, it was, well, we don't have a bank, and the only way you could do that, and there were minimal stuff paid out, by the way. I think it was around, I don't know, $500 or $600 in 3 different transactions.
Okay.
Yes, they were aware. We discussed it. We bring forward like a computer, and then the other one, which was I didn't really brought up, but it was a annual payment for the mailbox for we had to set up a mailbox for the California Assembly.
Like a post office box or something?
Yes.
Is that what you mean?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it was I think $195 a year. That one I had to take funds out, and I produced that record to Vicky, and well, actually I picked to Paul because he jumped in the middle. That he was in the middle of the paperwork or the transactions of emails, which I have. And then what was the other one? There was $195 for the mailbox, $450 thereabouts, half for the computer, and $200 for a miscellaneous mailing expenses when I was up in Larkspur. And I don't have the precise. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm listening.
Okay, I'm taking that out. Okay, so, and I provided to those 2 days later to Paul Pappas, waiting for the balance of the records because they requested 3 transactions. That was on April 12th. Well, I never heard anything. From what I understood at that time, there was some kind of a investigation because Paul filed something with the Peacekeeping Task Force. And later after that, Paul posts an email to about 15 people stating that he that I stole from him personally, and I stole from the assembly, and that he has all the proof, but I was yet to ever see anything in writing. No questions to me. And when I was emailing with Anna, she said there was an ad hoc board, okay, going over this inquiry. That makes sense?
Yes.
Of the finances. And I was emailing to Anna. I said, Anna, I have not been approached by anybody of this ad hoc. Who is on the ad hoc committee? No one's even contacted me for any questions or haven't given me anything in writing of any accusations. So it's in limbo, Paul.
Sure.
It's for a month and a half. So he made a public accusation that I'm guilty. I stole from him. And I can't, there's no way I'm going to respond in an open forum to accusations without I'm innocent until proven guilty.
Mm-hmm.
So I was silent in the open forum, but I'm still talking with Anna. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hey, the Federation, you're doing an inquiry. Where? Okay, so please provide the information. I've been found guilty. So 2 days later, Terry Somm, you know who Terry is?
Sure. Yes.
Okay. She calls me on Tuesday. I have the email. Said, Wayne, we need to talk. I said, not a problem. When do you want to talk? So it came out that on Wednesday morning at a.m., she calls me. So this is 2 days after Paul says I'm a thief. There's an investigation with the Federation, and Terry calls me. We chatted. She's in my opinion, is has two faces, or two personalities. So she says, well, wait, I want you to tell the assembly that you're stepping down for personal reasons, and I want you to do it tonight. It's a Wednesday of our Wednesday night call. I said, Terry, the assembly needs at least a week to do what, you know what I mean? It was very abrupt. In 2 days, I'm accused and then I'm removed.
Mm-hmm.
I said, Terry, that we need to wait on this. At least a week so I can transfer information and get people assembled. I mean, you know what I mean, of responsibility. She goes, no, I want you to tell the assembly tonight. And I said, okay. Now, I part of me says that was a big mistake, but the other part of me is going, I know there's something is not adding up here, and I agreed.
Okay, I'm listening.
Oh, okay.
Just so you'll know that I'm still here because I'm quiet.
Yeah, I'm talking. I mean, I have all this. I mean, it's just all these events are just.
Yeah, I understand.
So,
by the way, my heavy breathing is an indication that I'm still listening.
No, you're fine. Oh, okay. So here we go. I've given 3 entries to Paul Pappas. Okay, and I haven't seen any paperwork that yet the books are balanced. Then he accuses me of stealing from him personally. Okay, which I don't know where that came up, but what it was finally is I stole 2 cigarettes from him at 12 o'clock at night when we were in Arizona.
Uh-huh.
I was quitting smoking cigarettes. Normally we bought a couple of cartons of cigarettes because he paid because I don't have any money. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I'm working for you, so I'll buy a couple cartons. And the last week we're up there, said, no, I'm quitting. I'm just going to buy a couple packs. And it came out that he thought I went into his bedroom to steal cigarettes from him. I said, Paul, no. There was a pack of cigarettes in the truck. I woke up at 12 o'clock, went to take a leak, and I had a couple smokes.
Mm-hmm.
So, what's this that I stole from you? Really? 2 friggin' cigarettes. So, anyways, that was the other event. So later, I don't know when the exact time frame. He goes, Wayne, I have proof that you stole upwards of $15,000. I said, okay, well, what is it? Bring it forward. Well, we don't want to bring any bad news to the assembly or you. So if anything happens, Cesar Apollinario and Al LeCue are going to pay whatever, if there's any transactions found or whatever, we're just going to cover it to make this all go away. But I just want you to step down and go away. And so I was emailing with Anna. I said, Anna, I've been accused of stealing upwards of $15,000, and I have the email from her. Said, Wayne, well, apparently in another state, I don't know the exact state right now, but someone was misappropriating funds of large amounts. And I said, well, Lord, that's fine, but that's not me. But she told me that that's where, from all I can gather, is Terry Somm must have told her that, and because something happened in another state, therefore it could be happening in California. And it's just like, where is all this coming from?
Mm-hmm.
What? There's more to it, to the story than I'm seeing. I can't put all the pieces together. So there we go. There's some accusations. Nothing's in writing. No one's contacting me with written of number one, a filed report from Paul Pappas to the Peacekeeping Task Force. No one's contacting me for any questions. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hey, what's your rebuttal? What's your side of the story? I'm just emailing with Anna. She's asking me these questions, and it got so convoluted. I was talking to Daniel Spring, who is actually not very too well knowledgeable of our de jure, but he's helped people, not as a lawyer, but a counselor at law, a counselor.
Yes.
And I said, Paul, would you help? I don't know what to do. This is mixing of jurisdictions. I'm friggin' confused. It's fucking scary, right? Because now I'm accused and everything's on the back burner, and I'm not getting any resolve for like a month. And so Paul said, oh, I just want you to go away. And I said, no, I'm not going to go away. This is my name. I just put 1.5 years into the assembly, and just because of your accusations, without any proof that I'm just going to walk away and allow you to slander my name, no way. So there we are. Daniel, he's got other events going, and it's like, he's really not that knowledgeable. We spoke, and he was willing to give up the Treasury deal at that time. I said, dude, you can do whatever you want. You know what I mean? I was just asking for help, because this is tough. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Multiple jurisdictions. I don't know what paperwork's supposed to be done. Anyways, so that's kind of where we are. It's been sitting in limbo, and I have yet to see anything from the Federation. So I talked, brief, not going into any details, but Chris Reed is Wayne, just wait, bring it to the assembly. You know what I mean? Let's give it we're all owed our de jure form of government. We're all innocent until proven guilty. So let the assembly do their deal, which I am perfectly fine with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all I want. So all I can say is bring the truth forward, bring the evidence of whatever criminality, if I stole, bring it forward so I can rebut. Hey, when was it done? Who was the whatever? Bring the information. When did this event occur?
Mm-hmm.
Right? I mean, isn't that proper?
Sure, of course. I mean, that's what we're trying to do. I thought in a shortcut, if sometimes people make mistakes or they do something, and so first thing we want to do is just defend ourselves, and I understand that, and because there but for the grace of God go I, if you know what I mean, and so. And so, I said, you know what, I'm going to call Wayne. I'm going to give him a chance. If there was a mistake that you say, well, I made a mistake and this is the issue here and that sort of thing. And
Okay, so all right, so let's go back to where a small mistake could have been made, and so we had a first public meeting with people at an event in Los Angeles at a park. Okay,
Yeah.
and it was put on by Los Angeles, but it was a state. It was our first function in public where we would ever meet together, where any funds were donated of cash,
Okay.
as far as I know,
Mm-hmm.
just going into my hands. Okay,
Gotcha.
so it was. The event went on till 6 or 7 o'clock at night. We're wrapping it up. There was donations made, and for my recollection of truth, it was about $65 to $70 of cash. Okay, which was split between Los Angeles and California. So I ended up in my possession and it was rounded, agreed to $75, which I put in a plastic container in my Prius after the event. It was late, and I believe Nancy was there, Cesar was there, Paul was there, and when I talked to Paul, he said his dad was there, so that's perfectly fine. So there's $75 in a container of petty cash in my car, and that stayed in my car until the next event, which was the big roundup in Los Angeles, up in Pasadena.
Altadena, yeah.
Or wherever, yeah, Altadena, Pasadena.
Mm-hmm.
And at that time, I had washed my car the day before. So I don't, when I have my car washed, I don't leave amounts of money laying out in public. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So I put it in my pocket, $75 in change. Put it in my pocket. Either the day before or the same day of the LA event. I don't know when it was. I had my car washed. So we go to the event, and there is some more donations, okay? And there was, the end result was there was a $100 bill that was to go to the state California Assembly, and the balance went to Los Angeles. And from what I understand, the $75 and the $100, it was all divvied up. I thought everything was good, right? The $75 and the $100, it was all split up. To my recollection, it was balanced that $100 goes to the California Assembly. Now, Paul, apparently, what he says is I pocketed $75.
From the previous event, is that what he was saying?
Yes, because at the second event, he said, well, no, you just took money and paid Los Angeles with the funds that came out of the donation. So, is there a possibility to that? Yes. Do I believe I stole $75? No. That makes sense? I ended up with $100 in a jar.
Mm-hmm.
I said, so on the day I come back from Paul Pappas, he accused me. He said, listen, Paul, I have still in my garage, it's been a month, because I only go deposit money to my account once a month, thereabouts. Not only because of COVID, but because the federal taxes, they garnish my wages once in a while, and I'm not going to leave money in my account so they can take it. They've done it 3 or 4 times. So I make a deposit once a month. So there was $100 in a jug. I said, Paul, the money is still in a jug in my garage. I'll give you proof. So when I drove home for Paul, I made a video of me pulling off the freeway, going into the garage, opening the garage, picking up the jug, and the $100 is there. And he goes, oh, I don't want to see that. You're guilty. So at the same time, I told Paul, listen, I still have a $100 check that hasn't been deposited yet. And it was to Tony, who is Ron Kelly's significant other.
Mm-hmm.
No, I didn't spend the money. It was in my wallet still. That make sense?
Yes,
I mean,
yes, I
that's
understand.
clear.
I understand.
That makes sense.
Yeah, yeah.
And he goes, oh, well, you stole it. I have proof. Now you need to send me the picture of the check. I don't care about the $100. You need to send me the picture of the check right away. I said, Paul, I'm not going to the bank till tomorrow. You know what I mean? So I'll show you deposited. And so those facts I have proof of. I have the video. I have the conversations. And then I got texts of all those events. And so it's like a mixture of I stole from him personally, I stole from the assembly 3 times, I'm keeping a $100 check, and once I've given him all that information, there's this accusations that I stole upwards of $15,000. So it's like, there's something more to this. What the fuck is going on? Why was I removed 2 days later from my accuser, Paul Pappas, and I'm removed by Terry Psalm or told to step down, okay, without no probable cause? So I come to find out that I spoke with Eric Dingus at that time. Paul Pappas' boss was Eric Dingus. He was the head of the Peacekeeping Task Force.
Yes.
Okay. And I talked to Eric, and I go, Eric, did Paul Pappas file a report with you, with the Peacekeeping Task Force? He goes, no, Wayne, not with me. I said, well, where did it go? He goes, well, I believe he filed it with Terry Psalm. Well, to me, what the hell does Terry Psalm have anything to do with the Peacekeeping Task Force, let alone with the California business?
Right.
What the, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So something is not, there's information missing, and to me, when I'm putting the timeline together, honestly, I think it looks to me, if I can put everything together and bring it to the assembly, that it is a conspiracy to remove a sitting state California coordinator. And why would that happen?
You have any reasons? Any?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so for the prior 6 months to this, or 7 months to this event, or thereabouts, there was a publishing company that Audubon Rights elected or hired, or not hired, it's volunteer, the LRS system to do publications for the United States.
The LRS is, did you say LRS?
LRS
okay.
was the first publication company created by Audubon Rights, and a person who is very knowledgeable of blockchain technology, safety, web, you name it. And that was created. And so now we have Dominic Rodriguez and Terry Psalm were part of that, but Dominic Rodriguez and Brett Hooper, who is LRS, did not get along. There was controversy. Dominic Rodriguez does not know blockchain. Dominic Rodriguez created the LRO system as a secondary publication company or services, which is perfectly fine. I really don't care, right? To me, it doesn't matter. But so at that time, Brett Hooper made a presentation to me, and the only recording secretary there was Cesar, and I think James Kovalik. So we looked at what Brett had to provide.
Who? Excuse me. Who's James? James who?
James Kovalik. He was at that time the Sonoma coordinator.
Koblick, or what? How do you spell it? Do you know?
Kovalik. I think it's Koblic. He's Sonoma. He's James of Sonoma. Yeah.
On Sonoma. Okay. The man without a face.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that is him.
Okay. Continue,
okay,
please. I'm sorry.
That's fine. So we do Brett does a presentation, and so so does the LRO. There's a presentation of both services.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the LRO far surpasses what the recording secretaries view, because it wasn't just me deciding that we're going to use the LRO for now, and that was it, which was fine. I mean, it was because the recording secretaries are the ones that file the documents.
Sure.
They do the recording. The system seems to be functioning well. Just newly created, everything's going to have little challenges.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So here we have California making a decision for now that we're going to use the LRS system.
LRO or LRS?
LRS.
Okay, because I think you said LRO. Before.
Well, there's two systems. The
right,
land recording system, Brett, and then the LRO land recording office.
Okay, I was just getting clarification because I think you had said that you had decided to use the LRO.
No,
but you
no, it was decided by the recording secretaries that the most proficient one was LRS for them, and
okay.
that's what we're going to use for now.
Gotcha, okay. Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, it just so happens that the people, the volunteers or federal employed, there's no employees, so let me state that back.
Mm-hmm.
The people who work, so Dominic Rodriguez is in California, okay?
Yeah.
So he's in California who created the LRO with
Correct.
Terry Psalm, I guess.
Okay.
So Terry and Dominic are together. Chris Martin, who is a brilliant IT tech guy, great guy to me, he was working with Dominic and Terry on certain functions of the LRO.
Okay.
Okay. So now we have, and then Ken Burgess comes in later, but so we have Dominic and Chris, and there's another gentleman who worked on the LRO in California, but he never really participated, so it wasn't any, you know what I mean? There's no challenge there for what I foresaw a challenge. So what starts to happen in the assembly is on old recordings is Dominic comes on and he starts per se, I'm going to say solicit in a bad way, stating that the LRO is not good, it's a bad service, they use Google, it's not safe. And the assembly approached it, Dominic, that's not how we conduct business here. We're fair, you know what I mean? And we don't, that's not proper business to badmouth another company or solicit. We don't solicit here. Does that make sense?
Yes, I'm listening.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So this starts to go on multiple times where we've already chosen for now the LRO. But
LRS.
LRS, excuse me, using LRS, and LRO is told by, so now it comes out that there's a separation or something, some controversy in the States with these two publication companies. That makes sense?
Yes.
And there shouldn't be any separation. They're both good. Use whatever. And which was fine. I don't want any controversy. You guys, let's operate fair, equivocally, truthfully, and no bad slandering or anything. Well, Dominic and Chris and now Ken Martin is starting to come in and raising questions and I would say downplaying LRS to make the LRO look better. That makes sense?
Yes.
Still,
I understand.
it's solicitation.
Mm-hmm.
I said, guys, a publication company, neither one, it can solicit California. Let's stop this. Right?
Gotcha.
There's no solicitation period. Anna said it. I get it. Well, it continues. It just continues to go on behind the scenes, and it's like, so I emailed Terry and Anna. I have the date. I said, Terry, Anna, I hate to say this, but there are people in California who are still soliciting in our state. A publishing company, LRO, is soliciting California. And I let Terry know your employees or volunteers are still soliciting, and I want it to stop. Told Anna and Terry that. I didn't get a response from either one. So not only is it like 3 weeks later or a month thereabouts, this event occurred where first I'm a criminal, I stole from Paul Pappas, then I stole from the assembly, and then I stole for upwards of $15,000. And it's like, I believe I was removed by Terry, and I think Paul was influenced, or I don't know. I don't have those facts. You know what I mean?
I understand.
How did Terry Salm get the information that I was found guilty of being a thief to California, and within a 2-day time frame, or even a week, without a proper investigation?
Mm-hmm.
So there you go. There's kind of an update. I have emails to Terry and Anna over the past 9 months. There are many people in the assembly who witnessed these events go on, but they're the only people that have been there since day one. You know
Sure.
what I mean?
Yeah, I understand.
And so I don't know how it works in our du jour, but if you want people who are non-biased, who don't have an opinion, but if they're not given all the facts, how can they make a proper decision? And the only facts that come up are people that have witnessed all the events.
Correct.
So here we go. I don't know. So I pray on it. I've been battling this for a long time. And I know the truth will prevail. I just want the evidence brought forward and me an opportunity to rebut.
Well,
if there's anything brought forward, which to me, I haven't taken any $15,000 or $30,000. It's friggin' ludicrous to me. But bring it forward and let's let the evidence prevail itself.
Okay. Well, Wayne, I appreciate your candid. Is that the right word? Candidness.
I don't know.
The fact that you're candid. And yeah, I appreciate the conversation. I really, really do. I've got more of your side of the event, of the story, if you will. And I promise you that I will work toward a satisfactory end for you, for the people of California, as we investigate this. I think it's drawing to a close. And so hopefully within the next week, maybe, or so, that we'll be able to come and get you, if all of your facts remain as you stated, and that's what it is, and it becomes just a nothing burger, as I keep saying, that you would be released from that burden of what you feel is in sort of being in bondage to this thing for the last few months, and let you go and not have to worry about it.
Well, what is, so we see the events that come up, and what is remedy, what is cure, you know what I mean? And that's yet to be decided, you know what I mean? And, okay, do I get something in writing from the California that I have, you know what I mean? I am free and clear, no longer a thief, and I think the state is first, then I handle it with Terry. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, in my mind, you have to have something that frees you. There has to be some kind of a statement, on your side, a statement to the assembly and say there's an investigation that has taken place. On behalf of Wayne Whomsley, we have found that there is no evidence to say that he committed these inappropriate behaviors with the finances of California, and we find him, I guess the word is not guilty. He is acquitted in this situation, and we will sign an affidavit. I don't even know if we can use the word affidavit anymore, but something.
Right, So the California, which I'm glad that I'm, bring it forward. But here's what happened is apparently Paul had filed a report with the .us, right, or whoever Federation people are, and that is where I want something from. I sent a letter to Anna. Said, Anna, I want something in writing from you that I'm cleared of any wrongdoings from you and Harold. Mm-hmm. That my service as the California coordinator for a year and a half is I leave in good. Like if you leave the Army, you know what I mean?
Sure, separation. Yeah.
Well, no, it's just some kind of letter of approval. You know what I mean?
No, well, I think it would probably go in. I'm just saying this. I would think that it would go in an orderly fashion, yes, where California would say you are clear.
That's correct. California's first.
Correct, and then take it to the next level. And with what our investigation comes up with, I don't see why she wouldn't say something that would clear and make a statement or give an affidavit or whatever it is that you are free and clear. That allows you to go forth. You don't want this thing, hanging over your head.
Okay, so here's what. Now here is that. Now this is stuff. It's not private, but it is. I was invited to a behind. I mean, it's kind of like, does the United States want to put a bunch of dirty laundry out there, right?
Sure.
Of the events with the LRO and LRS. But I was invited to an inquiry about this, okay, to give my side of the story of the events that occurred in California with Terry Salm and the LRO and, blah, 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 blah. So this just so you are aware of other states, is there are other coordinators who have complained of Terry Salm's interference in state business.
Mm-hmm.
Secretaries are removed, coordinators are removed. The talk was, shit, Wayne, you shouldn't have let it happen. Now Terry can just, it's feared in the other coordinators that if they do something wrong, they can be removed. Mm-hmm. And that's not how we're supposed to operate. We're supposed to be one big unity.
Right.
So the event that happens in California, at a federal level, this is first, there's farther-reaching implications of, not operating in our de jure form of government that is just kind of waiting for truth. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, it makes sense. I mean,
okay.
That it's the rubber band that gets released and truth across the board, not just with Wayne Whomsley. It's across the board.
Right. There we go. So my portion, it's a small portion of many events that have been occurring, but it wanted to be thrown under the rug. Like, you know what I mean? Oh, he's guilty. He's been removed. He's just going to go away.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I said, no. I didn't, just because I didn't hold Terry Salm responsible for giving to me in writing why I'm being removed, that I'm just going to acquiesce to my guilt.
Correct.
Based upon assumptions and accusations of public slander by Paul Pappas.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go, buddy.
Okay. Well, I've got a clearer picture, and I can go into the next phase. Like I said, I think it's drawing to a close. But go into the next phase with your. I'm going to consider this your statement. I didn't.
Yes.
Wayne, I didn't ask you permission, but after the fact, I'm recording this just so that I would know.
No problem. No
okay.
problem at all.
All right. Well, thank you very much for that. And I thought
you're
along the way that we're discussing this over the last 45 minutes, believe it or not, I'm thinking, well, when do I tell him I'm recording this?
No, it's okay. And you know what? I really tried to record the conversation with Terry Salm because you know what I mean? In the back of my mind going, something's not right. And I friggin' tried to record and I couldn't get the thing to work on my phone. So, what do you do?
Well, I'm hopefully I've got it, and I certainly will, Wayne. And you know what? I bless you, and I'm praying for you and this whole situation, because as you say all the time, and I believe, is that we're supposed to walk in honor and in truth. That's why we're on this side of the fence, so to speak. We're in the de jure, not the de facto. And we've been lied to, and we've got to get to the truth, and we've got to set people free from the truth. I mean, from the lies and all that sort of thing. We have to set them free from that so they can live their life in peace and freedom and walking with their heads held high.
Okay, so just for the record, yes, I, Wayne Whomsley, the past California coordinator, authorize you to use this recording as my affidavit of truth.
Sounds great. Thank you very much.
On the date of July 1st, 2000, of a good Lord, 2021.
Yes. God bless you, Wayne. Yeah, it's perfect. It's absolutely perfect, Wayne. God bless you. Thank you very, very much.
God bless you too. We'll talk soon.
Yes. Bye-bye.